As I am always saying here on the channel, the big challenge in magic is not the sleights. It's not really getting comfortable with gimmicks. It's not even the scripting. The real challenge is getting people to care about what you do. That's the big difference between something that people just experience as a trick, like Uncle Henry does a trick, or my friend Joe does a trick, a couple of tricks, tricky stuff, and magic, people's experience of magic. They need to care. So how do we pull people in? There's so many ways to do that. But one of the things I don't think enough magicians really use to their advantage is using items that people already care about. Pulling them in with items that already are soaked in emotion. Classic items that people have a lot of strong emotional relationships with, okay? And here's a really simple example, because I love card tricks, but really people don't care that much about playing cards ultimately, right? But if you get something like here, like a penny, okay? If you borrow a penny from someone, you say, watch, I'm going to squeeze the penny. I'm going to squeeze the penny. And they see you change the penny into a real seashell. And there's nothing else in your hands. That's the kind of thing that brings people in. Because first, beautiful magic. They saw, you borrow something from someone, you change it to something else. So, so often in magic, we know these techniques. We know these ways to be able to cause transformations, vanishes, appearances, but we use items that are inherently not that interesting. And that's what I love about this technique. This is a technique by the brilliant mind of J.C. Wagner. I first learned this from him. And I love this because it's so versatile. I'm going to share this with you right now here. Now, for this, what you need is, first off, is a penny. There we go. You need a penny or a nickel or a quarter dime, 1 second. Now, you're going to be lapping this item. And unless you want to run the risk of making the item vanish, okay, and then everyone hears 2 beats later, ting, as it hits the floor, rolls along, getting a big laugh, unless you want that. It's nice to have something in your lap, a paper napkin, even a sweater, if you're in a sweatshirt, with something draped in your lap to be able to make sure that the item doesn't roll away. That's number 1. Now, I can change this penny into anything I can hold in my hand. And the psychology here is what I really want you to be clear on, because it's literally invincible. People can't help but buy in, both emotionally and the timing on it. The reason this works so well is, first, you pick up the penny, you borrow it, okay? You pick up the penny off the table in a very natural way. This is the way a human being, not necessarily a magician, but a human being would pick it up. Second, you put it in your hand, you give it a squeeze, and it falls to the table. Now, this first time falling to the table means the audio really sells the idea penny is in play, okay? The fist is very clear. It really clarifies everything. And the fact that you do it once and then you repeat the action, you could do this as a one-off. Just the first time you pick up the penny, you can make it vanish. But I find doing it twice is what pulls people in, and they believe the action. They relax any suspicion, they buy in, and that's when they get badly fooled. All right? Now, what's the technique? I had this seashell, okay, palmed in left finger palm. Okay, when I reached off camera here, I grabbed it, but certainly I get this out of my pocket, I get this out of my lap. This is great. Coffee shop, you're at school, the lunchroom at work, something casual where you're all seated at the table. This is perfect because you can get so many things in the hand here, okay? So I borrow the penny, and notice when my hands relaxed on the table. If you watch most people, their hands, when they're relaxed on a table, okay, they're either on the edge of the table, okay, or they're in loose fists. People are often talking, they're in loose fists. So don't feel guilty or that this is going to attract attention, all right? The only time people have their hands flat on the table like this is typically when they're getting up from the table. They're pushing themselves up from the table, all right? So I have this finger palm, seashell, and a seashell. Talk about an item that everybody cares about. You don't have to say. It's immediately evocative of beach and picnics and all that, and surfing and everything else, okay? So this is left-hand finger palm. I pick up the item once. Boom. Fingers on top, thumb there, and it's legitimate pickup. And I'm doing it here, and then I moodily bring the hands together. I don't want to isolate this hand too early because it could make people wonder, is there something in the hand? So notice both hands are basically mirroring each other. They're both relaxed on the table. Pick up and both hands move forward. But I don't want this to get in front of it either, or what you end up with is you'll block your take. You want to make sure they have a strong visual picture of that. So you pick up and move forward. That's the beat. So pick up, move forward. I'm going to drop it. This is in finger palm. It stays there, and the coin just falls past it, okay, onto the table. Step 1. Then I'm going to do it again. And this time when I come back, I let the penny fall into my lap. But I don't look down. It's just a pick up and move forward. Exactly the same as the last time. Now both hands move forward. And I tend to move far away from the edge of the table. Okay, this is the brilliance of this, is that the change happens long after you got rid of the item. You ask people to lean in whatever it's here like this and really milk this. Every moment that you take, okay, every moment, you don't extend it too far, but every moment you extend it now is a time lapse from when they saw it at last near the edge of the table, all right? Just to be clear. Now notice if I just vanish the coin, people might get suspicious, but because I change the coin from one item into another. Now, of course, you can go and into a seashell, there it is, and hand it awkwardly as if there's a penny behind it, then show them nothing. But that's really going to dilute or dissolve the moment. You really want that first boom impact either on the hand, which is nice here, or for a larger group, of course, you open your hand here, show this, and immediately turn it over, and you've got boom. A lovely moment of magic, and rather than a penny to a dime or a penny to a playing card, this is something they care about. You show your hands absolutely empty. Other items you can use, okay? Seriously, find stuff around. A sugar, changing something to a sugar packet, awesome in a coffee shop. A lollipop, okay? Lollipop, just loosely hold it in finger palm here behind the hand. You can do the exact same technique, change something to a lollipop. A candle. A short candle stub. If you happen to have a lighter around, you can light this. Again, you can find selected cards, you can do all that, but when you change something into something people care about, with some drum, a cracker, very cool. What's cool about a cracker, and I've done this before in a diner, is once you change the item into a cracker, you show it like this, then you can get to crunch this and drop it down, a little bit of drama. I know it sounds crazy, but this is theater. A stone, just a simple stone, a mysterious stone. A shreddy, changing it, or you could even finger palm a couple of shreddies, okay? You can change, and of course a dollar bill. Now this is sort of a step back. People care about money, but you can also change this, have this finger palmed here, borrow penny, nickel, dime, say, watch me make this penny 100 times bigger. And of course everyone imagines this jumbo penny, but in fact, boom, you change it to a dollar bill. From 1 penny to 100 pennies a dollar bill. So those are just a few ideas. That technique is really, really strong. And ultimately, the power of this, as I said, is, and I find this a lot with my shows, when I leave cards and coins and do something else, really has a whole different dramatic power. And so I think that's really important to keep in mind, is to do magic with as many different objects, as many interesting objects as you can.